All right, I'm going to go ahead and share an AI tool called NotebookLM.google. So to access this, you literally just go to NotebookLM.google and then you'll go ahead and click Try NotebookLM. This is an AI research assistant to really just help you keep your information in one place and then also get some valuable information out of it that you could utilize in your class. So you go ahead and click on this. And it's going to take you'd have to log in. You'll notice that I have a few that I've kind of dabbled in here and there, but you just create a new notebook for whatever topic you want. And then you can go ahead and upload um, all of your documents, all of your resources, your websites for that particular topic. I definitely would recommend one notebook for each topic or unit that you might have. And then you can keep all of those kind of links and update those links as you use them. You can actually also put your curriculum or your content area unit, your outline up on there as well as a way to kind of keep the information that you're looking for. It'll actually use that information when you are creating different elements to your notebook. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and show what you might be able to do. I'm going to actually use a historical one, just because they have a timeline. I went ahead and I found some YouTube videos, some websites, some PDF files. I found a curriculum map that had 8th grade World War I and the Roaring Twenties, and I went and uploaded that. All you got to do to add a source is you click Add Source, and you can go ahead and either click to the PDFs, the text boxes, the text files, audios, Google Drive. You could go to your Google Docs, Google Slides. You could upload what you're planning on using in your classroom, a website link, a YouTube video, and as well as you could copy and paste text. As I was watching some videos that related to NotebookLM, they did suggest that you include the sources when you're copying and pasting text, so that at least it can validate where your information is coming from when you are utilizing this. So the center plate, once you have all of your sources uploaded, which I believe they do have a max of 50 sources. And I should emphasize before we even get too far into this, at this time, the Notebook LM is just for staff at Kewaskum. It is not able to be used with students yet. So just so you know that these features are things that you can utilize for your classroom, whether it means you're going to use it to help get your slides set up or organize what your unit might want to be including, or some cool features that you might be able to create from some of your sources that I'll show you that you can actually share out as far as a podcast might go. So in the center here, you have a chat. You can go ahead and you could add questions. They do have some example questions here that talk about how World War I's long and short-term causes intertwine with to ignite the global conflict. You could use those questions. You could ask other questions, and it's again using all the sources that I have checked to answer those questions that I might have. This center chat piece is kind of like the Chat GPT, where you can ask a question and you could add notes, etc. Over here in the studio section, I'm going to talk a little bit about this deep conversation. This you can actually generate a podcast from all your sources. I will show you an example using a different notebook that I have, only because I did find out today that there is a max number of podcasts that you can generate each day. So that would be something we'd have to talk to our technology administration about, if they as far as like limiting the number of podcasts. Definitely the podcasts are very much the same. They have the same sound to it. They kind of go about the same way. I definitely would suggest listening to it before you share any of it out. I tried to use one for some math, but because it included some diagrams and some pictures or visuals, the information didn't actually present itself fully the way that it would have been completely correct. Because again, remember, this is AI taking the sources that you're utilizing. And as far as the pictures and diagrams go, the AI does not utilize those quite as well as some of like the PDF files or the reading files. To me, this is kind of like the cliff notes of all of the different um, sources that you're adding here. But along over here with the studio, you have a couple buttons. The study guide will actually create a study guide or an outline of all the sources that you've inputted. So if I go ahead and I actually have already clicked that, it sometimes takes just a little bit of time to go ahead and upload, but once I've had it upload, I can actually access it again. This is the study outline of all the materials that I have included in as my sources. Then you'll see under the second bullet, they have a short quiz, which are 10 questions long. And when I scroll down, you'll actually see the answers to these quiz questions as well. And again, from the sources that I have uploaded. They have some ideas for some essay questions I might want to use, some glossary or vocabulary. This particular one actually has a vocabulary activity that also included an answer key. So here's the answer key to the short quiz that it was above, as well as the answer key to the vocabulary activity. So definitely a cool feature. And then just to go back, you just click Studio and it goes back. And if I didn't like this one, or if I added some more sources, I might delete this and choose to generate another study guide. Or maybe I want to change some of the resources, delete it, and update it a new study guide. This briefing document will actually create, oh, that's what you would actually do to create it. I've actually created one already. You'll notice it takes a couple minutes to generate. However, I already have one already created. This is a great summary of all the resources. Definitely a place you could use if you are trying to make your slides. It kind of organizes them in a outline format and takes some of the main ideas and kind of pulls out some of the information that you might want to include in a slideshow. So if I go back to Studio, you will also see the reason I picked a historical topic is there's also a timeline here. So if you click the timeline, it'll take all the key time frames or the key figures that are relating to that particular topic from the resources that you've uploaded, and it really can help you make some cause and effect. So this happened here in Japan, and then Turkey entered in a month or two later, and you could use some like um, relationship, like how did what Germany did affect what something else happened, or you could use some cause and effect. So that's kind of a cool feature. To go back to all of your notebooks, you just click on this little black rainbow Notebook LM logo, and it'll go back to the other notebooks that you might have. I've tried to do a couple with math. I think with the math piece, I might have to focus more on vocabulary and maybe some whys of why things work rather than the concept whys, rather than the how-tos or the algorithms, just because um, you don't, it didn't seem to work really well with the diagrams. I actually did use a notebook with my Rocket Club. We uploaded the Arduino um, PDF file of how to code some coding in, and that was kind of cool because our students were able to listen to a podcast of the coding, and it made it a little bit more interesting to listen to rather than trying to read through 85 pages. So I'm going to kind of show you what the podcast actually shows us. I have pulled a science PDF. It was about sound waves. All those features that I shared on the other one are there. But if you look over here underneath the studio, you can actually click generate. And it does take a couple, usually 10 to 15 minutes to generate. But once you've had it generated, you can just load it. And this is a podcast that was created with the resources that I have uploaded. And I'm just going to play a couple seconds of it just so you can kind of hear it. It sounds like two people actually talking on the radio. And again, it is talking about whatever information I've uploaded. So that's really cool. It sounds literally like two people are talking. I will say, though, as far as the podcasts go, they all do sound very similar. It is the same two people talking. So you don't want to overuse that, but I definitely think it could be used with some topic areas or that might be a little bit more challenging or maybe not necessarily as intriguing, just as a way to kind of make something new and refresh. One other feature that I did just learn today, and this is the last feature that I'm going to share with you, is this interactive mode. The interactive mode actually allows me to participate into the podcast. So if I click on this, it's going to open the podcast up again, but you'll notice that the little audio play is down at the bottom. As soon as I click this, this little hand join will pop up as a button. When I click that, it'll actually interrupt whatever they're talking about, and it'll ask for my input, whether that means I'm asking a question or whatnot, and then it'll take the information that I ask and find it in the sources so I can actually be included in the conversation. So I'll show you a really quick example of that. Yeah, I was wondering what kind of disturbance would cause something in the air? So you'll notice that I can actually ask a question and then they respond to me. And that was just a really quick question that I could ask right in the beginning, just because you'll notice that once I included the interactive, I couldn't fast forward like I could with the other one. So to go back, I just go back to Studio. And I do want to show you that you can actually download this podcast and then you could share that with your students. So not the interactive piece quite yet because that is still in beta. However, the podcast piece, if you used it for a review of some sort or whatnot, you could go ahead and download that and then share that. So, again, if you have any ideas of how you might be able to use this, please make sure you share it with your colleagues and myself. Definitely, we can work with each other and come up with ideas to improve everybody's classrooms. All right, thanks for taking the time. Have a good day.